Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. What's up? Welcome back. I'm continuing my Indiana Jones trip, making sure I get all these reviews up and looking back on the Indy's past before I dial my destiny officially for the first time. I've been hinting at the first, if you watch my Raiders and my Temple of Doom videos, I hinted neither of those are my favorite indie film. This is my favorite indie film. I don't know, I just really love this film. I don't know, I think it was because this was my first Indiana Jones film that I saw, based on my age, based on actual theatrical release dates. I saw this first, and then it opened me up to, and I think I watched it in reverse order. I think I saw this, then Temple of Doom, and then Raiders. So, it's kind of interesting to think about it that way. But when you're born in certain eras, that's just how you go. That's life, when you're in between things. I'm sure there are people who saw the Star Wars films in weird order, too. They were young enough and their parents just took them to one of the new Star Wars films and forgot to show them the originals. I don't know. We'll start with Phantom Menace. Okay. He's 5. I'll see if he likes it. Anyway, so this one is my favorite. It's got Harrison Ford, Sean Connery. I think Sean Connery, maybe the reason this is my favorite is because of his presence. He does actually add a lot in terms of the character that's added to Team Indy. There's always Team Indy, regardless of which film you're watching. On Raiders, there was Team Indy. In Temple of Doom, there was Team Indy. He has a squad of people. Usually one of them is a damsel in distress, and another one, or who may or may not be in distress, I should say, and another one, somebody else to help him along the way. And in this time, he brings Marcus along for the ride. So Marcus has more to do, Marcus Brody, and we're introduced to Ilsa. I remember watching Ilsa as an adult and being like, wow, she's really pretty. I think that's the takeaway you're supposed to get from her. Just immediately is wow, okay, so this is obviously Indy's love interest for the film. Because that's what makes the film work, is that Ilsa is not. But you don't know that yet. She's very genuine and comes off very genuine in the very beginning. So, not so much this devil in a blue dress type thing. But it all works for me. It's on Paramount Plus. It has audio description, just like the other two films. And I've loved the audio description for every Indiana Jones film so far. These films are so adventurous and there's so much action happening, and there's so many little clues and of history, little traps that happen. You have to watch for somebody's steps because it might create something and trigger something else. And the narrators really have to pay attention to every little detail that we're watching on screen and then relay all of it. And they do it in just fantastic fashion. And, of course, the reason why this feels so good is because it's still directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by George Lucas. It's still got the same team behind it, shepherding it through its last crusade. Is this the last crusade, though? Apparently not. But yes, we do. We even had River Phoenix. I forgot River Phoenix was in the beginning. Is that weird that I forgot it was River Phoenix that played young Indiana Jones in the beginning of this? But it is. It's River Phoenix. So he has a nice little opening sequence that comes back around later on. And I don't know, I love the moment. The leap of faith moment is just so great because it's so obviously Indiana Jones isn't going to die, right? So you're just you're waiting for it. You're how are they going to do this? It's such a great moment because when he's doing the leap of faith, because it's obviously if he's wrong, he dies. So he just, and then I don't know, where does the movie go from there? I don't know. Everybody just stands around and goes, well, I thought he was going to make it, but damn, I don't know. How do we get to the Holy Grail now? I don't know. Where's that Marcus guy? Maybe we can make him. We'll make him the lead of the franchise. Yeah. So it's one of those things where Steven Spielberg manages to ratchet up enough tension to where you forget the fact that there's no possible way he could die in that situation, and it's a great little moment to have. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, the film isn't even over. It's not even like it's one of those things like at the end of the film where you feel like, oh well, we're almost at the end. This could be the final indie film. He could fade away and pass. Sort of like how they ended ended Daniel Craig's tenure, I should say, as James Bond with the well, he's not coming back, so let's go for it. But yes, that's the appropriate amount of tension needed in that situation, and it worked really well. It's a great film. The final moments when they're looking at the cups and they're trying to decide which one of the cups is the Holy Grail, and there's like multiple ones, and of course the douchebag is like, it must be the greatest one because Jesus's cup would have been embellished and all of this stuff, and it's like, this dude is such a historian. Did he not? That's what he got out of the Bible? Is that the guy who walked around barefoot and in rags all the time was like, you know what, guys, for my Last Supper, I want my cup to be fancy. Deck the shit out of it. Put rubies on it. I want it to be. Anyway, so yeah, of course. And his demise is properly described. The tension of Elsa. There's something, though, about, I will say this as a blind person, having seen this film previously and then not seeing it. There's something about these scenes where people are staring into an abyss and you can't see the bottom that is more effective visually than it is not visually. When you're like, oh shit, I can't see the bottom. Like, as opposed to being described like, we can't see the bottom. I can't see a lot of things, so I wouldn't be able to see the bottom if I was standing on it. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But it definitely, because I remember as a kid, this came out in like 88, 89. I was like 5 or 6 when this came out in theaters. I was legitimately like, I kind of have a fear of heights myself, and I was just sitting there like watching it and being like, oh my god, back away from the corner, back away from the edge, guys, get away from the edge. I was getting very anxious about it. I was like, oh, you're gonna fall. I couldn't deal with it. And it was the more traumatic moment of the film for me than anything else that had happened previously in the film, was just like looking into this abyss, and then Elsa's hanging there like a dumbass, and she's like, I can get the grail, it's right there, I got it. It's like, no bitch, you need to get up on that ledge. But no, of course, something was more important, and it's okay because she's a Nazi, so she died anyway. It's what I said in my Raiders thing, is that you don't really need to create great villains if you just create Nazis, because we all just love to hate them as villains. They pop up everywhere as villains, and you only need to develop them just so much as characters, because we already come into them with like, oh, it's you. Just this like deep hatred already just sort of sewn in, ingrained into us to not like this character, and I feel like if you're trying to make us like the person and they're not, I feel like that's the challenge. Be like, no, they're a good one. They're really just hiding. It's fake. It's a fake costume that they're. Good luck proving that one by the end of the movie. you know. Good luck. Good luck with this redemption arc of yours. So yeah, it's a lot harder to do it the other way, but it's a lot easier to do it. It's, again, why we fight Nazi zombies in video games is because not just regular zombies, but Nazi zombies. Yeah, it's because of that. It's just our natural nature to immediately see a villain on screen when you put that swastika attached to anything, and an entire character can just be written off just really quickly. And you're just like, well, I thought he was cool, and then I saw that, and then I was like, well, nope, never mind. They can die now. So at a certain point, you're like, oh, well, Elsa, maybe she could be redeemed. And you're like, never mind, she cannot be redeemed. And Indy's trying to save her, and you're like, she's not going to get saved. There's no way. There's no way. But, yeah, it's just a great film. I love this film. I'm sorry, this is not a really coherent review, but this is... I'm not officially doing a 40 for 40, but if I were doing a 40 for 40, this would probably be it for the Indiana Jones franchise, where this would be one of my favorite films of all time. I can't really say that because I really realized when I started doing these, I don't think I've seen these in 20 years. Did I watch Last Crusade a lot as a kid? I think so. I think of the films, I watched this one the most. I think I've seen this the most times, but at some point, for some reason, I kind of just stopped. Like, I don't think I've seen this since like the mid 2000s. So it's been a while. And that's not what like a favorite, super favorite comfort film is to me. If it really was that comforting, I would watch it more than once every 20 years. So yeah, it was very popular for me as a kid. It was a huge part, but for some reason I left it behind. And I've really enjoyed rewatching these Indiana Jones films with audio description, and going on this ride, on this journey one more time. And I hope not to wait 20 years to see him again. We're going to try not to do that because these films are absolutely worth it. That being said, I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade an A+, as if it were a 40 for 40, because this film is very special to me. This is the film that really did open the door for me and make me love Indiana Jones, just because of timing. I know for other people that, depending on your age, you were lucky enough to see maybe Raiders in theaters or something like that. If you're a little bit older than me, great, good for you. My parents took me to this, and this I have the personal attachment to. Raiders is a truly terrific film, absolutely 100%. But Last Crusade has that place in my heart. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please click that subscribe button. I am trying to break 200 this year. I'm so close, yet so far away. I also have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acv.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. That's it for me today. I will review something else and see you guys on the other side.